Hello.
Yo, we're
Yo.
live.
Yo.
We are live, and we are still Kyle Lowry's Toronto Raptors.
He's still here. We overreacted for no reason. I cried for no reason last night. There was no reason to shed tears yesterday.
There were so many feelings.
Yeah.
Like playlists were made.
Playlists, voice notes, pictures, bunch of video songs. Yeah. It was a lot of it. I'm glad we get to at least see him for the rest of the season. That's cool. I hope he's.
Did you think that this was always the play?
That they were going to end up keeping him?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe they were trying to kind of like make sure. You know what the funny part is? I figured they wanted to make sure everybody waited until the very last minute. Like they had the power of the trade deadline in their hands. You know, I thought
I think very like 4D checkers, 4D chess, because I don't know how to play checkers, or I don't know how to play chess. I mean, I know how to play checkers, but like make the entire league shift everything and then be like, yeah, we're good.
I don't mind it. I like it. Do you like the I mean it's hard to like Norm getting traded, but do you like the Gary Trent move?
Yes.
Okay. I like
and I like Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood's one of those players where I'm like, Rodney Hood, he's so old. And then I'm like, no, he's not. He's like 24.
Oh man.
What do you think?
I just popped in. Yeah, I thought it was great. I like the move. I wish they would have maybe gotten an extra first round pick for this year, because that would have been nice to have to just guys. But I mean, we don't know what deals were there, right? Like we don't know what deals were available to them. So if that works, is that a Caesar, by the way? Are you drinking a Caesar?
No, I made sweet tea.
Sweet tea. Oh, I've never actually tried sweet tea. I don't think I have. Yeah, I like the deal. I like the move. I think Norm is going to like Portland. I think what they do there is really fun too. Like he's going to be with Dame and CJ, and they're going to get him a bunch of open shots. Like that's perfect for Norm's situation.
And he's just got such Portland energy about him.
He does. It's very Portland vibes. Very Portland.
It's not the move I was expecting for him. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't Portland, and it wasn't definitely Portland giving up Gary Trent Jr. I didn't think that was ever going to happen.
Yeah.
But it did, and he's ours.
I guess they just didn't want to pay him. But then the thing is, like, why not? Why are you getting Norm? Are you going to pay Norm? Because you're probably going to end up paying them about the same. Maybe Gary Trent a little bit less, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Portland's just trying to see what Norm is like for 1 year before they
commit,
decide on him. Because either way, he's going to get paid this summer. I guess they're just trying to keep their names like front of the line.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, are you? I mean, the big deal. Terrence Davis is now in Sacramento. Yes, yeah. A bunch of cheers.
Bye.
Bye. It's I love that. That was probably my favorite move of the day.
Yeah, and it came out of nowhere, and we just traded him for picks. That's all.
It was funny because it was so close to the deadline. It was like 250-40, and you see Toronto trades, and you're freaking out. But it was just Terrence Davis. Yeah. I had no idea what I was walking into. I was but I'll hop back in. I'll hop back in a bit. I'm going to grab some food. I'll be back. I'm glad you're good, by the way. I saw that you were dealing with shingles. I'm glad that you're back. I'm glad that you're back.
I am back. I have a face now, and I am using it. So
yeah. Using it to its full capabilities. I see you, Kelsey.
All right, pop back in.
I got you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello. Who do we have here? No, nobody? Andrea. Who's here? Everyone's just staring at my face right now while I wait for Sidra. I don't know what's going on. Drake about to hop on the call. Oh, that would be funny. It'd be really awkward for me, though, because I hope he's never seen me call him a creep. What do you guys want to know, all the people watching? Do you want to know how I feel about both Matt Thomas and Terrence Davis gone, freeing up more time for Paul Watson Jr.? Paul Watson, think the Raps cleared up space to grab Drummond. No, I don't think that they are going to grab Drummond. I don't see why. I thought that maybe it was the LaMarcus Aldridge buyout, but he's apparently heading straight to the Heat. So I don't really know. What I'm hoping is that the 10-day contract that Alize Johnson has with the Brooklyn Nets is going to come to a close. They're not going to re-sign him. And then Toronto will sign him because they have open roster spots and money now. So that would be my ideal signing. That obviously Gary Payton II would give us a very big defensive boost. I'm just very happy with what they did. I'm happy we don't have the agent of chaos on and off the court, Terrence Davis, because watching the offense have to be run through him was exhausting. And I am very happy that we don't have to see that anymore. I promise there's other people coming, guys. You don't have to just sit here and stare at me. Someone is a big TD guy. Why are you a big TD guy? Like, do you mean the bank? Or do you mean the person we just traded to Sacramento? Davis. Oh. Okay. That's a choice. I won't hold you to it. Odds Baines remember how to catch a ball and put it in the net now that he didn't get traded. Maybe that would be nice. Maybe that's something he can work on today. Iman and I offered to buy him those. Remember those big circle things where you catch the ball in the middle and it's like Velcro on the sides? Iman and I offered to buy him those for Christmas. So that's still an option. Yes, the Velcro pads. Hey, look at you. Look at you.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
This is the best day of my life.
That was the most stressful couple of hours I think I've ever experienced in my entire 30 years of living. Might just be.
Yeah, I don't ever want to live through that again.
I'm good. I'm good. I don't want the US media knowing anything about what the Raptors are doing. I don't want one of our players to be in trade talks. I want no parts of any of that ever again.
No, because usually I'm like, okay, you guys do this every year, but it sounded so serious this time.
Yeah, no,
it's freaking fuck out.
For sure. And it just, everything came together in such a way that it really did feel like, okay, this is Kyle's
last hurrah.
Yeah. Especially yesterday, it just really felt like I was in my feelings. When I tell you I was in my feelings, I was deep in my feelings yesterday.
I brought a cake. Like, I made a playlist. I've never even done that for a breakup.
It would have been the worst breakup of my entire life. But he's still here. He's still a Raptor.
Do you think that was always the move?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I think they wanted to. So I think they wanted to keep him. I do think they wanted to keep him, but I think they wanted to see what was out there for him and what they felt they deserved to get back for a player like Lowry. And when those offers,
and nobody offered it.
Yeah, no one offered it. So they were like, well, okay, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, I'm going to keep my player. But I do think that wasn't necessarily the plan. Keeping him wasn't necessarily the plan, or they had a plan in place if he left. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was like the plan was always to keep him and this was just to fuck the rest of the league. Or
I mean, but did they really? Like, Miami gets Oladipo for literally nothing.
true.
Right?
I forgot about that one. I was so preoccupied with everything else.
Like, literally, like, anybody who like works front office for Houston needs to be fired. Like, they need to lose their job. They need to start looking for a new one. Vacancies open for like, y'all need to be losing your jobs, because I don't know.
Honestly, I thought Masai was going to somehow fleece Christian Wood for Norm, because in the trade machine, it works straight up.
I don't think they were willing to give Christian Wood up, and I wouldn't. Like, that kid.
Yeah, they're not that dumb, I guess.
Yeah, they're not that dumb. How are you feeling about the actual trades? You know, Norm.
I love it. It's not what I expected, but I love it. I love it because I know Norm is going to be so loved in Portland.
Yeah. No,
like it's gonna be Dame CJ Norm. And it's just gonna be, and Dame has all these cute babies and Norm loves babies. So
literally perfect. No, you're right. You're right. I just you know what? When they announced the trade, I think that's when it really hit me. Like, we've spent years saying trade Norm.
Mhm.
Like, I've been captain of that train for a very long time. Like, get this guy off my team. But now that he's no longer there, it's just, wow. Like,
it's gonna be weird.
It's definitely gonna be weird.
He's not like the biggest, most impactful player, but he did have like a presence.
For sure.
So we'll see. I think Gary Trent can fill those shoes, though. I'm telling myself he can. I think he seems really sweet. I think he's got a lot of untapped potential, and I think in a system like this,
it could work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna miss Norm, and I think I'm in that kind of frame of mind right now. So I'm just, and we're playing them on Sunday. We're playing him on Sunday. We're playing Portland, so that's gonna be.
Is it at home or in Portland?
I hope. Oh, if it's in Portland, let me check. I don't know.
While you're looking that up, someone asked, who is a realistic buyout option as a big? I've been saying Dwayne Dedmon for months. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Is it? Do you think that's something that could happen?
Oh, it's in Florida. So, like, he's not even going to get, like, the tribute video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want that in, like, 3D. Like, I want the Norm Indiana Game 5 dunk, like, in my face.
Damn. It's in Florida, so it's a home game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bless you.
Bless you.
It was my dog, not a child.
Oh. I was like, yeah, no, I'm sad. I just don't want any of our players leaving under these circumstances. We don't even really get to say goodbye to them. They're just kind of job. Like, okay, cool. Like, see ya.
Come on up. Come on up. People want to see you. People want to see you, Matilda.
Hi, Matilda.
This is my dog. I don't know what kind she is. I got her from the SPCA. She looks like a dingo, but a little one.
Hi, Matilda. Hi, Mama. Hi, Matilda.
She's like, where is that coming from?
Hi, Mama.
What are your thoughts on the trade?
Hi, baby.
Insightful.
She's so sweet. Oh.
Somebody said, is this about basketball? No, right now it's about my dog. But yes, it's about basketball. Yeah, when Norm comes back to Scotia and people are allowed there and the world is like on fire with amazingness again, and he's on fire in Portland, because they're using him well. It's going to be such a nice homecoming, and I'm very excited about that. I'm also very excited about the people we got rid of.
Girl. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
I did not think it was happening.
Thank you, Masai. That's literally all I wanted. Like, they could have like literally kept everybody else and shipped him out, and I would have been happy. Like, get him off my team. Thank you. I don't have to see him make stupid plays on my team any longer. Thank you, Masai.
That's the thing. Like, even if you take out the being a shitty human,
yeah,
he's still a shitty basketball player. Every time he was on the court, I swear to you, the offense just crumbled. There was nothing being run that had a purpose. It was just so stop and go with no flow because he's a goddamn idiot.
He refused to pass the ball. He wants to drive on every play. He thinks he has a bag that he doesn't.
He doesn't have a bag.
Boy, being on the worst team in the league, but one of them anyway.
Yeah.
Matt Thomas is gone.
Whatever.
I mean,
like,
I'm always so scared when it comes to Matt Thomas that he's gonna like get minutes and then become the 3-point, threat that we wanted him to be on our team. And I'm just like, please don't like get good on another. Like, I'm actually gonna be so pissed if he's like a legit basketball player on another team. Like, I'm gonna be angry, to be honest.
Yeah, but that happens all the time. That happens literally with everyone that the Raptors sign. They sign them to be a 3-point specialist, and then that never happens. Never works out.
Never.
Until you went out. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, and he would still be a defensive liability because he's not. I mean, maybe he'll go somewhere that it doesn't matter, or that they play something more to his style of defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they can hide him a little better.
Yeah, where they can hide him. But I don't no, he had a good run. He got to spend 2 years in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, he got traded to Utah now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna love him there.
They'll love him. Some Matty Ice. Yeah, no, it's weird because I like prepared myself for Lowry leaving, and now that he's not gone, it's like, oh, okay. This whole like fade for Cade that we were on, I was definitely part of that group. There's no way Lowry's gonna let us. There's no way he's gonna let us fade for Cade now. So we're gonna just have to fight our way to a playoff spot.
I've been saying, I'm so glad that they did exactly what I said they should do, which is get rid of the bad.
For me, it's just like, not that I don't want them to. Well, I don't want them to pay in the playoffs this year because I don't want to chance them meeting the Nets in the first round and potentially like losing, and then me being depressed during a pandemic because I still can't go outside because Doug Ford refuses to.
Because we're still not vaccinated.
So it's just, for me, it was just, I thought it just made a little bit more sense. You tank for half a season, barely half a season. You get a decent draft pick. You have a great scouting team here. You have a great development team here. And you build towards the future. And because this year's draft has some really, really like
it's stacked
prospects, I just thought it just made a little bit more sense. But now that Lowry's staying, there's absolutely no way this team is tanking for shit. So I guess we're gonna just have to get the 4th seed or the play-in and see what happens from there. I can't say that I'm excited. I can't say that I'm not excited.
I'm excited.
I don't know what the future looks like for us.
This is literally like my perfect scenario. It's like we aren't tanking. We're just going to get through the season, maybe make the playoffs, maybe not. oh well. We get to watch our guys develop. Lowry's still here. Terrence Davis isn't. Matt Thomas isn't. So Paul Watson gets more minutes. Like, this is my fantasy.
You like the
Yeah.
situation.
I'm feeling my fantasy right now.
My whole thing is what happens in the summer, right? Like if you lose, no, I guess it isn't that much of a problem if you lose Lowry for nothing, but I'd rather not
But
lose.
we can pay him
How much though?
all the money we saved by not.
But you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay. Isn't Trent? Isn't
Yeah,
he?
but you're not gonna have to pay him all the money that we saved for Giannis plus the pay cut that Fred
You
took.
want to use that money on Lowry?
Yeah. We saved a shit ton of money. I can't remember the exact figure, but
Yeah, I mean,
and Fred took a massive dip in his pay that year.
for the second year, right? But my whole thing is, how does that? Okay, so here's my thing. I don't want to turn into Pacers 2.0, where we're just like too good to like get a lottery pick, but too bad to do shit in the East. Like, I just don't want to turn into that team, and I worry that we look
Almost there.
yeah, like
You're hedging.
It feels like that. And here's the thing, you know, we have multiple players on our team that can develop into the kind of player that, you know, then we don't necessarily have to worry about becoming the Pacers. But I don't know if any of the three kind of core that we're building this team on are going to become, you know, a Kawhi, a superstar, good enough to kind of carry a team in that kind of way. So I guess essentially what we're going to end up doing is being the Raptors prior to the championship year, where we're just kind of toiling along until we get a break and hope things fall into place. But the likelihood of, you know, a Kawhi type trade happening again is unlikely. And that's why I feel like it's important for us to develop our own talent, which is why I was totally okay with us tanking for the rest of the season, developing a talent from this amazing draft class, and moving forward that way.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I don't think we have to tank to do that. And I don't think we necessarily need super high picks. This draft is so stacked anyway, like literally from top to bottom. And we've seen what we can do without high picks. I mean, who's our last high pick? Andrea Bargnani, number 1.
I get it, but I also think, especially with a team that scouts the way that we do, and a team that develops players the way that we do, it would be great to have a top 5, you know, pick that you know is going to be, for the most part, you know is going to be a legit like basketball player. And I would love for us to kind of develop one of those players from the ground up.
Like Paul.
Look, I'm not going to say anything. Paul has all the tools.
Yeah, I know. He's kept basically Kevin Durant.
He's literally, but like things just have to come together for him.
And I think they will now that they don't have to play him beside Terrence Davis.
We thank God, man. I was so excited when I saw that Terrence Davis trade. I was like, thank God. Look, Masai, I love you. Thank you so much for listening to us. I don't have to cheer for that nigga. I can feel good about my team again. Oh my God. You guys don't understand what that's done for my spirit in this team, because I hated seeing him come on the floor. Like, it literally pissed me the fuck off. Did you guys see yesterday when during the women's broadcast? Shout out to them because they did their thing. Some of y'all need to be fired on the broadcast. I'm telling that to you straight. You need to replace some of y'all.
I'm not gonna say any names, but it rhymes with Mio.
Need to replace some of y'all. But shout out to them. They did an amazing job. There was this one play where Terrence Davis hits a 2. And it was the driest reaction. I was dying. Like,
it was literally like,
oh, Matt Thomas for 3. And then Terrence hits for 2. And she's like, Terrence for 2? I was just like, what? Mood.
But that's the thing. I mean, you can't don't try and get us to hype him up, and we don't have to do that anymore. Like, it's very morally conflicting.
Very.
Not even conflicting. It's just, no, we can't do it. It's triggering. It's fucked up, and we don't have to do it anymore. Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Witch is dead. Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy Sacramento. I feel really sad for
Sacramento.
them. Like, I don't have abusers on my team. I'm very grateful for that. So
Yeah. And he got traded for nothing. He thinks he's like this big man, big star, and he got traded for 2 second-round picks.
Woo!
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that. Be like that. And it sucks because he was decent last year.
That's the thing. What happened between last year and this year? Like,
no idea. I can't tell you. It's like almost not the same players. Like, I don't know. Anyway.
someone said I would have traded him for a Timmy's donut. Me too. I would have traded him for a coffee, and I don't even drink coffee.
None of our business what happens with him moving forward, man. I don't care.
We literally never have to think about him again. We don't have to like wonder if we should like an Instagram post because they try and slide his like pregame fit pic in there. Those days are over.
Thank God. Just having to talk about him, like every time like me and Iman are in Clubhouse or whatever, and he'll hit a shot. It's just so irritating because I don't want to react, but then you're kind of forced to. So
Violet, you can come in if you want. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be so refreshing not to have that energy in the locker room and on the court.
For sure. Hi, Violet.
Oh, Sandy said hi, Violet.
Hi,
Did you tell her it's your birthday on Saturday?
it's my birthday.
Come here, shake hands.
Happy birthday, Mama. How old are you turning?
7.
7, big girl. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, happy early birthday.
And it's Kyle Lowry's birthday.
It's Kyle Lowry's birthday.
And he gave us the gift yesterday. He gave us
He did. Oh, like I actually was. It got to like 15 minutes before the deadline, and I literally started tearing up. I'm like, oh God, like I thought I was cool with him leaving, but this is too much. Like I don't think I can do this. This is.
You guys were all like way more rational than I was because I wasn't cool with it. I was thinking like, what if we all just threatened to kill ourselves? They can't do that. Like if.
Oh my God. Like I just, especially when the rumors started coming out about like the Clippers being interested in Kyle, I was like, oh no, this timeline I don't want any parts of. Like
The thing is, even if Kyle was in the Clippers, I would have such a hard time cheering for them. And it's only because of their owner.
Yep. And I'd be very bitter about it because that's literally the Raptors in another jersey. Like I wouldn't be able to do it.
No.
Mentally, emotionally, physically. Like I literally.
No, physically, I mean, I can't stay up that late.
I'm not watching that team, so I don't know how the content would go on dishes, but I'm not gonna be here.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I wouldn't be able to watch it. So I'm glad that didn't happen. One thing that was interesting is that clearly the league undervalues Kyle. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how he reacts to that.
That's the thing that bothered me the most was that they were unwilling to give up these like Tyler Hero, Talon Horton Timbit. I don't know, like why.
I get it in a sense because they were able to get Oladipo for like nothing. So
yeah,
I guess they were right in that sense, but
we are not the same, Houston and Toronto. Like
not the same. I can imagine Masai sitting there like, do you know who I'm trading?
Yeah.
Like, do you understand this person? That's like.
And I hope Kyle was sitting in the office with them the whole time too. I hope he's sitting there being like, you see this shit? You see what they think it works?
No, it's gonna be interesting. Like yesterday's game was eye opening in a sense. Not eye opening, but I guess it felt the most Raptor like pre bubble or pre pandemic that we've gotten. And it was almost kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, like this is the team I remember. This is the team that I've been waiting to see all season, and like this is what we could be if we're playing up to our potential and things start falling into place for us. So I guess the tank is off, man. I guess the tank is.
And look who they didn't play very much last night. They played Terrence Davis in garbage time, and they didn't play Aaron Baines for more than like 2 minutes. So
Yeah,
I don't know how we're gonna get rid of that one, but
the buyout is.
it's looming.
Yep, it's looming. Let's get Aaron Baines out of here.
What are you doing in a laundry basket?
I don't know.
What if I took you over? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Can we just move him to the back of the bench and have our small ball lineup? Because that seems to be working.
It's working. I just don't know that we want to, wear OG out that way.
Yeah, true. Because he does had some injury concerns like throughout his career, and he's coming back from COVID.
He's coming back from COVID. But he was spectacular yesterday too. Like if he can just develop his ball handling, that kid's potential is insane.
That's what I'm excited for, is if we don't try, like, we didn't sell the whole farm to try and make a playoff run in a season that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And we didn't sell the whole farm to try and tank. We're just like, okay, we're going to develop.
Right. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
OG is to the Nuggets as Norm is to the Bucks. Yes. Very, very that.
Agreed. I'm just, guys, Norm's gone.
It still doesn't feel real because we've been talking about it potentially happening for so long.
It doesn't. Damn. Like and I think what's making me even more emotional about it is the presser, just because he said, I want to stay, I want to be a Raptor, I have roots here. I was just like, damn, you're gone, bro. You're definitely gone. So.
Yeah. I wonder if he knew, because remember, everyone says that they find out, like us, through Woj bombs. I wonder if they had at least the
decency.
The decence, that's the word, yeah, to be like, you know what? This is what's going to happen. What do you think? What is Osmos going to do? That's a good one.
Osmos just lost their. I didn't even think about that. But
okay, chill out.
They had to have told. I mean, they had to have told him. I think Masai's learned his lesson from the DeMar situation.
Yeah,
you can't. You don't want to burn those types of bridges, And Norm's been here for a long time. He's contributed to the championship team. I don't think you let him find out in a Woj bomb. I don't think that's gonna happen again. That type of stuff is gonna happen again.
Maybe Terrence Davis did, though.
That's Sacramento's problem, bro. I don't even ever want to hear that name again. I'm good. Let's see if he'll be in the league.
Yeah.
In a year.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I doubt it, but
for me, for the playoffs, I just want the Raptors to upset upset a Philly, a Miami, or
everyone who disrespected us by offering us their garbage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or our golden boy. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Gets swept.
Pretty much.
Maybe someone should punch someone too.
Ooh, Lowry's gonna be mad for the next.
That's the thing. They have poked the bear from now until forever.
Because I'm sure, he thought that I think he thought he was going to Miami, to be honest. Yeah. So for it not to have happened because of fucking Tyler Hero.
I hope Tyler Hero never scores another basket in his life.
Like, ooh, I can't wait for Larry to show up in the playoffs. He's going to show out in the playoffs.
When do we play Miami? When do we play Miami? We should do another live one for that.
Yo, Larry's gonna disrespect. Oh, okay. Okay, you guys didn't want him? Okay. There's no reason why a player like Larry carried us in that Celtic series last summer.
Yeah.
Like literally carried us. And you guys are still disrespecting him. For what reason? Come on, bro. Like, what more can he do? Like, I get that he's older, but it's not like there's been a big drop off in his game.
So we don't get to play the Heat again. You're lucky, Tyler Hero.
No, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I can't wait. Like, ooh.
Wait, when do we play Philly again?
Do we play Philly again? I feel like we had all the Philly games, no?
I don't
We
know.
played all the Philly games.
But I mean, at least Matisse Thybulle is more likable, but like you're not gonna give him up to give up this like teenage YouTuber to get Kyle Lowry. Like, are you stupid?
He's gonna show him out as per usual.
In a post all women's broadcast world, we're 1-0. Kyle stayed and redacted left. That's 3-0. Jerome, you're so smart. You're so smart and perfect.
I love Jerome. He's my favorite.
Who am I looking for? Philly? Yep, no more Philly.
No more Philly. Yeah, we're done with our
Oh,
Philly.
no, May 11th.
Oh, we still have a Philly game.
Yeah, maybe we will be vaccinated by then.
If we're vaccinated, guys.
Masai just kicked off Hot Girl Summers.
He absolutely did. No, yeah. I mean, I can't believe we kept Kyle. Like, I was so sure we were losing him. Like, I was so convinced. Like, I woke up and I was like, bro, like, I have to prepare myself mentally. So it was just torture waiting for something that wasn't even going to show up in the first place. I was just like, when is this drop? Like, especially like 5 minutes before 3, I was just like, bro, like, are they really about to drop this at like 2:59? Like, come on, man.
That's when it started getting closer and closer. I was like, okay, I don't think it's happening. And so at first I thought the Tyler Hero thing was a joke. Like,
Yeah.
I thought those were like fake reports. And I was like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then like Woj is reporting it. And I was like,
Right.
and then I was like, no, he can't go anywhere that they're not going to respect him enough to give up
Tyler Hero. Yeah.
Slim Shady. Like,
Jimmy Neutron.
yeah.
But but I'm happy. I'm happy that he gets to stay. I'm happy that they get to run it back, especially given this year, like to see the team at home kind of play to the level that we know that they can is going to be great. Like, that's really something that like we haven't been able to see all season, and I just it would be a disservice if we lose the whole We the North era without at least being able to run it back at home.
That's the thing. Like, I felt like the season was so pointless.
It's pointless. It's like so stupid. So
But we don't have to worry about that anymore. Ever. Well, actually, we do in like 2 months. But
we definitely do in like 2 months. We could do a sign and trade though.
that's the thing. Like, if we make this push and we end up in the playoffs again, do you think that will be like another decision-making factor for Kyle in the offseason?
Like in regards to what, like staying here or choosing to go elsewhere? Yeah, I mean, it depends on how far we get. Like, if we're out in the first round, I think he'll make a decision to like leave, find a real contender, and finish his last 2 or 3 years off there. But um, if we do get further in the playoffs, if we make it to the playoffs, and we get a bit further in the playoffs, I think that will change his mind.
I hope so.
Help develop the guys. Like for me, what made me the most nervous is just depending on Fred to be the point guard of the team. Like I just wasn't ready for that, like at all. Like I was just
Yeah, stylistically, they're so different.
absolutely.
Like Fred is very I don't want to say ISO, but he's very like single offensive minded, whereas Kyle was more like team offense.
Yeah.
So it was totally different. But they work well together, and now we have them both. So
How we doing? Not related to the trade, but it was very interesting to see Pascal's game yesterday.
yeah,
It's like he was trying to make a point.
you think?
Wink. So I don't know. Like, are we gonna start seeing this Pascal? Is this, or was that like a one game? Like, let me get this off my chest. Let me remind you who the fuck I am.
Maybe they need to fight every game.
That's what I was saying. Like, whatever happened, let's recreate that, because I don't think I've seen this Pascal since early last season.
Yeah. So he needed a fire lit under his ass, and he got one.
He was being so aggressive in the paint. He was trying to get contact. Like, he was very intentional about, the shots he was making. He was very just confident with the way that he was moving, and
he got his groove back.
Bro, I haven't seen that Pascal. I was just like, bro, he had like 10 points in the first quarter. Like, I was just like, wait, what?
He was like, we are not losing this game
at all. And it's to the Nuggets, right? They're a good team. So it was just, it's like Pascal.
That was such a fun game.
It was like OG killed it.
And I think like this whole, no one's above getting traded kind of scenario kind of did light a fire under everyone. And like, if we can't make this work as a team, we're not going to be a team, and none of us are safe.
Yeah.
And it worked. So we just need to wait for the trade deadline next year for another game like that.
They needed that. They definitely needed that. They needed the reminder that anybody could go. DeMar could be shipped off for Kawhi Leonard. You definitely can be shipped off. So
yeah,
let's not get it twisted. Like, at all.
So what do we do with the open spots?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what happens with the open spot. Like, I was really curious because I thought that was an indication that something was happening, something bigger was happening for Kyle, but I don't know.
Someone says bigs. Yes, we need bigs desperately.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I'm holding on to the most after all of this is Alize Johnson not returning to the Nets after his 10-day.
Yeah, like I really like Alize. I would say, like, I watched quite a few G League games, and that kid's good.
He's a rebounding machine.
He really is, and that's the one thing we absolutely need. So, no, absolutely.
And maybe Gary Payton II.
It's so weird. Norm's not on our team. Guys, don't you feel like, it's so weird? I'm what happened?
Kabengele is looking to be Mfiondu Kabengele. He's with the Clippers, looking to be bought out.
Okay.
Get over here, friend. I was very high on you in the league.
Why not? Let's convince you why Toronto's amazing.
I mean, it's not even Toronto. You just got to come to Tampa for a couple months. Start stealing players back from the Clippers. Oh my god.
Right. No, I don't know. I don't know, man. This is weird. Like, I don't know how to feel. Like, I think it's gonna hit me when I see him in a Portland jersey. It's gonna be really weird. It's kind of like
Which is in like 72 hours.
like, yeah.
But it's kind of weird because like their jerseys are almost exactly like ours. So-
Yeah, yeah. That's. Oh, mommy.
But he's gonna. I'm not upset. I'm happy for him because they're just gonna love him so much.
It's just sad.
It's sad for us, but I think he's gonna be happy.
I hope so. Oh, Bubba.
And they didn't trade him for like pieces of garbage. Like they got
That's
like
true, because that would have been insulting given,
Yeah.
given what he's been doing this season.
yeah.
But again, we have a really good development team, and if these guys are ready to work, they'll be good.
And he's not like a leader with the same kind of mentality as Kyle and Dame.
Yeah,
So I think it's gonna be a good fit.
it'll be a good fit.
And I feel like Yusuf Nurkic and Norm are gonna be like best friends. And that's like a pairing I would really love. That's a buddy cop show I would love to watch.
I really love that they put him on a team that's like contending and not like,
Yeah.
the fucking Kings or whatever.
And that's gotta make him feel good too, to be like, a contender wanted me.
Yeah,
I'm their missing
I
piece.
couldn't disrespect you by putting you on some like shitty ass team
Yeah. Like Sacramento.
like Sacramento. Wow, so I guess I don't know how to react really. Like it's been a lot. Like the last couple of weeks just been emotionally exhausting because it's like
Yeah, I just feel like every year we go through this.
yeah,
And
it just felt different. Like everything was lining up in such a way that it made sense for certain players to not be there. So, yeah. I'm just very excited for the next game just to see what they look like.
and it'll still be like the battle of the undervalued point guards with Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
And I saw an interesting tweet today, and it was like about all the things that they're offering for Kyle. And it said, like, would you offer these for Chris Paul? And it's like, you would be out of your damn mind
Not
to
to
offer
do.
these for Chris Paul. So why do you think it's okay to
Why
do
is
it?
it okay? Right. I don't know. Kyle's gonna show out again in the playoffs like he always does, and points.
I just want him to like walk into the arena, like. Wow, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's gonna take me a while to kind of like come down from that like stressful place I was in.
It's kind of like the Marc Gasol and JV thing. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's good for
Right.
both of them, but you're still kind of like, but my feelings.
right. I don't know. I was over JV, so I was good. I did not forgive him from game one. Of that
Speaking of JV, what about DeLon?
yeah, no, I
Since
forgot.
DeLon,
Delon and Corey.
yeah,
Yeah.
feels switcheroo. But he's played for so many teams since he got traded from Toronto. So he got traded from Marc Gasol. So he played for Memphis. Then he signed with Dallas. Then he was in Detroit. And now he's in Sacramento.
Yeah,
I think that's all of them. Yeah. That's crazy.
it is crazy. I remember being so high on Delon. I was like, oh.
Me too. I loved him. He was like one of my favorites. And we share the same birthday. And he looks like my brother.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I was so high on Delon. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that trade necessarily. Like, I don't know what the Pistons are trying to do.
That's the thing, because they're not contending for anything. So why do you want Corey Joseph?
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what the Pistons are trying to do. I'm not quite sure what the Kings.
I don't think they know either. I mean, their first signing was a Plumlee.
Right. Yesterday, I heard somebody came up with a trade, and they said, oh, I forgot what the trade was, but it included Plumlee, and I was like,
To Toronto?
yeah, and I was like, why? Sorry,
I
why?
just have that person blocked.
Why? Why would I want that? How does that work for us at all? Like,
This is surreal seeing Sandy be here with Norm from early season. Rusty, calm down.
God. Why did you? Oh, damn, Jerome, why do you have to remind me? I forgot, bro.
You know what? Sometimes, at least you admit that your opinion changed.
It obviously changed. Do you guys remember how bad he was at the beginning of the season? He was absolute at the beginning of the season.
That's the thing with Norm, is that his career
It's like-
trajectory is so like,
You just never know what's gonna be which Norm you're gonna see at any given time, right? And for me, it was just like to see him, play the way he did, and become the player he became over the course of the season. It's fucking crazy. You couldn't have told me at the beginning of the season that this is what he would look like.
mhm.
I don't know. I love you, Norm, and I hope you're happy in Portland. And yeah, I don't even really know what to say. Like,
What about LaMarcus Aldridge completes a buyout with the Spurs?
I heard that he's going to Miami.
Yeah, that's so random.
Super random.
And I
don't
feel like
do that.
the
Like,
total opposite of like what the plan was. Like, wasn't the plan for like DeMar and Kyle to reunite?
Kyle,
in
like, I
Miami?
was absolutely certain that was what was happening, and then Miami sucks. Fuck y'all. You guys don't want our point guard. Fuck y'all. He's gonna beat y'all in the playoffs.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm swearing a lot. Violet, don't listen to me.
Yeah, she's never heard these words before.
Yeah, I was just gonna go get a blanket too. Hold on. Hold. So I guess we're waiting for Sidra and Iman to jump on.
I think so.
Does anybody have any questions while we're waiting? Any questions? Any comments? Anything? No?
What did you all watching, listening, think was going to happen with Norm? Oh, favorite Norm moment. Sandy, what's your favorite Norm moment?
I don't know. I have so many. Outside, off court was the championship. Just seeing how like drunk he was is literally my favorite. Like, that man was zooted. Like, he was faded as fuck.
He was Toronto man's like.
He's like, "Oh, summer love, we're champions, baby!" And I was like,
And his eyes are like barely open.
"That's my nigga." That's like one of my favorite moments because he's literally on TSN doing this. Like, it did not concern him at all that he was on TV. I know his PR agent was like, "Get off, get away from the freaking camera."
My favorite on court was probably the Game 5 dunk against the Pacers. And my favorite off court, there's a couple. There's obviously like drunk parade Norm, but then there's like when he's carrying Fred's brand new baby and he's like, Norm loves the baby. Or whatever he said.
Yes.
And then the fact that his like Instagram for his dogs is something that he like updates regularly.
No. Yeah, no
He
one
put so much thought into it.
and just all the torture he's given the Bucks, just like over the course of the last couple of years, just warms my heart.
When do the Blazers play the Bucks?
I would love for him to just transfer all of his hate.
Friday, April 2nd. So next Friday, guys, we all have to watch Norm.
Gotta watch that. Support.
We have to watch Norm kill the Bucks as a Trailblazer. And be like, that's our
I'm
baby.
gonna be mad as hell if that transfers over, man. They're gonna be mad as hell. Yeah.
What do you guys expect from OG for the rest of the season? Good question.
Just give him the ball. Like literally pass him the ball. Now that we've gotten rid, like he can get more touches, pass OG the ball. Okay, like he's never gonna learn how to ball handle if he's not getting touches. So just give him touches. That's all I want for the rest of the season. Like I really don't care what else happens. Just make sure that OG's getting his touches. Because that kid is special.
Yeah. Develop him.
Develop him. I don't know what my expectations are. Like every time I have a ceiling for OG, I'll see flashes of something so much greater, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can necessarily.
Or he gets injured.
Or God, that's no, please. But yeah, no, like I don't know what ceiling I would put on OG, just because there are times where you get flashes of Kawhi, and you're just like, oh, okay. Like, okay. Like, if this, okay. Like, not that he's going to be Kawhi, but you could see it. And I mean, like, his defensive upside is, I think he's going to be a better defender than Kawhi, period. Like, if not already a better defender than Kawhi. So I think defensively, we already have a future, defensive player of the year. If his offense could look even like average, like he's going to be a spectacular player. So I'm just excited to see him develop. I'm excited to see him get more touches. And yeah, go OG.
It's just like he's so successful as like a small ball, extremely small ball 5.
Yeah.
And hasn't had to do that for very long, but he's already adapted to it so well.
Yeah.
That it's like there's just so much untapped potential there that just like if given the opportunity, he could excel.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really excited for the OG development program.
Super excited. I don't care how much he fails, how many shots don't go in. I just need him to have touches, and for Nurse to trust him.
Yeah, that's the thing, is we're not going to have to see any of those whack lineups anymore. Like, where do you just throw the guys that were traded in,
right,
and hope it sticks?
and hope it works. Yeah, no, that's the best part I think of today, is that we've gotten rid of TD. I don't have to see him. Like, I'm literally so happy about it, guys, because like outside of the off court stuff, like you said, he's a horrible basketball player. So yeah, like I'm excited to see what happens with OG.
Agreed, man. Agreed. So LaMarcus Aldridge has officially been bought out
by the Spurs.
Myers Leonard got waived. Today it keeps getting better. How long do you think till Utah picks him up?
Oh, that's funny. Bro, I just need trash people to like get the fuck out of here. Get off these teams, bro. We don't want you in the NBA.
And he's not even good. That's the thing, is all these people doing the dumbest shit.
And you're not even contributing to your team.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
you can't be awful on and off the court. You got to choose one.
facts.
I guess now you don't, because you're not on the court anymore. So
What else are we Any other thoughts?
Any other thoughts?
We're waiting for Iman. She's on her way. So.
Yeah, and Sidra's on our way too, I think. Let's see. Anything else happen?
Not that I know of. I don't think I've seen anything else.
Oh yeah. So Rondo, where did he go again? The Clippers?
Yeah.
Do you imagine having two absolutely insane point guards on your team?
And it's funny because I was having an argument with a Clipper fan, and I was just like, "You guys shouldn't really try to get Larry." He's like, "Oh, I'm not paying X amount of money for a 35-year-old." I'm like, "Okay, so you want Rondo instead?" Like, not to say that he's not going to show up in the play. He does show up in the playoffs. I'm not.
He's got a very high basketball IQ, but
really high basketball IQ. But then
he's batshit crazy.
Like, yeah, number one, he's crazy. Hi, Iman.
Yeah, like, can you imagine the absolute fist fights that are going to happen between him and like Pat Bev?
I can't wait. And Lou Will is now on the Hawks.
Yeah, lemon pepper forever.
Price just went up. Price just went up. Okay, have fun in Atlanta.
Oh God,
contender.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
Remember how you said it didn't like Toronto because it didn't have sports, whatever sports channel you guys have in the States, and the money's in
Hello.
Hello, Sandy. I was just listening to you talk about the prices just went up. Oh my God, that's so good.
The prices just went up.
That was hilarious.
The prices just went up.
That was hilarious.
Okay, price got up still.
No championship.
The price is exactly one Rajon Rondo.
No championship for you.
That's funny.
Pedro, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so for the last month, I have been like avoiding Twitter because it stressed me out so bad. So bad. Everybody on the timeline was just like sad about something. Like, and it was obviously like Kyle. So I was like, okay, I can't deal with this now. I'm gonna deal with it the day of. And I was like, there's no way he's leaving. And then, I mean, I have no expertise to say why I thought he was staying. But I was just like, I was so relieved. So relieved. Oh my God. That would have been bad. For fucking Duncan Robinson?
What
the fuck am I gonna do with Duncan Robinson?
Right. And Miami fans were trying to act like that was like
we're giving you Duncan for Kyle. Yeah,
someone
bitch,
you
trying
told
to.
me if they include Tyler Hero, that person won't be a Heat fan anymore. Okay.
What?
If they include Tyler Hero, I won't be a Raptors fan anymore. So
Yeah,
like,
what?
Switch.
We don't want Tyler.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah, that was the worst trade. And then who tweeted? It was like a really good tweet. I think it was Kayla Doyle who tweeted. Hold on, I want to find it.
I want an apple.
Where'd it go? Oh my God, so many notifications from today. Oh, Kayla Doyle was like, showing Lowry you undervalued him and hoping to get him in free agency. Sounds like you really poked the bear to me.
Exactly.
Like, how are you gonna do that?
That's what Sandy and I were talking about. Was like, you can't go and lowball this guy to the point where it's insulting and then expect him to want to come to you in free agency. That's not how it works.
You're literally undervaluing him and pretending like, oh no, we're giving you Duncan fucking Robinson.
That's like telling
You're welcome. We're giving you Duncan Robinson. Bitch,
telling the perfect woman that you're like not gonna give up. You're like you can wait around for me. No.
Hell no.
Not gonna happen.
Fucking ridiculous.
Now, do you think this was the plan all along? Hi, Mon.
Hi, Mon.
Hi, sorry guys. I'm just trying to change something. I'm like in the background.
You're in a new background.
I'm in Mississauga.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Am I?
Yes. Oh, she left. She's like,
again.
fuck it. I'm in Mississauga.
I'll be back. I'm just doing something really quickly.
Okay. That makes
Do you
sense.
think the plan all along was to kind of like just screw the entire league, make them all jumpy, and then have Kyle stay?
I mean, isn't that what like Masai kind of usually has played up his sleeve? Like he does
That's
some
what it
weird,
feels like.
quiet shit and gets away with it, and everybody ends up looking stupid.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
That's like what my galaxy
Right,
brain
yeah,
is trying to tell me, is that Messiah was just like, how can I ruin every other team while keeping mine amazing?
I think Yasmin was saying something like that too. Like he just wanted people to dance for him.
Yeah.
From his freaking BlackBerry.
Imagine that much power.
Literally.
Hello, Jerome. I see my name in all caps. What's up?
Juan, how are you
okay.
feeling?
Stunned, shocked. This is such a weird day. Like, Sandy knows that I went to bed at like what time did we go to sleep yesterday? Like
3
I went, and I went to bed an hour after that because I stayed up to do some other stuff. So I
Were
went
you
to bed
guys on
at 4.
Clubhouse?
We were on Clubhouse. discussing
Oh,
all
were people
this.
crying? Tell me about Clubhouse. Was everybody like
I
depressed?
was.
You
I
were or weren't?
I fully believed yesterday that Kyle Lowry was going to be gone, but I stupidly believed that the Heat would part with Tyler Hero, or that he would somehow be a Laker. Like I was just like, they're going to, like, LeBron doesn't care about, like, I know that everyone's really high on THT, but I'm like, LeBron kind of likes his vet, so I kind of thought that a deal would be made. So I was resigned to the fact that, like, Kyle was gone. And then I woke up today and I went to bed. So at 4:00 in the morning, I woke up to do CBC this morning, and that was at 7. So I've basically been up since like 6:30 essentially. And I slept for 2.5 hours. I don't know how I'm running right now, but I'm here.
You're running because Kyle Lowry's still here and it's
Yeah,
adrenaline.
exactly. And I've been so jittery and so anxious all day. I've gone through every emotion of like, Kyle's definitely gone, to Kyle is not going, to like, he can't go. They don't want him. What? They're not going to give him Tyler Hero. Well, then Masai can't do it. And I was like, I went from wanting Kyle to go to actively wanting him not to go. Because I was like, if they're not going to give us what we're asking for, why are the Raptors doing them a favor? And I was on the live stream with Basketball News earlier with Spencer Davies and Alex Kennedy, and we were talking about this, and they were asking me, and I'm like, why would the Raptors give up Kyle to Miami if they're not going to get back what they want?
Absolutely.
If you're not giving me Tyler Hero, I don't want Duncan Robinson because I don't want to pay Duncan Robinson in the offseason. We just traded for Gary Trent Jr., which means we're going to have to pay him in the offseason. He's going to command somewhere around $16 million a year, $17 million a year. So now you're going to be paying Duncan Robinson. That's why we traded Norm. So we didn't have to deal with this. And now you're telling me that I'm going to have to pay for both of these guys, a guy that I don't want in Duncan Robinson at that. Doesn't really make sense. So I was like, they're not going to do Miami a favor in that way. And why would they take on KCP's contract when he's got 2 more years left? Didn't really make sense. So by that point, honestly, by like 2:00 today, as it kept winding down, I was like, if these teams are not going to budge, I just don't see Masai Ujiri budging. It didn't make sense. If you're not going to give us what we're asking for, then have fun in the playoffs without Kyle Lowry. And I cannot wait for the Raptors to go up against the Heat or the Sixers in the playoffs. Because the Raptors, I'm like, I've dropped the fade for Cade nonsense. We are making the playoffs, and Kyle Lowry is destroying one of those 2 teams, or both.
So I was right all along.
When are you wrong though, Kelsey?
Wait. Who thought that the post-trade deadline would just be so chill?
No one.
I'm glad it is because my shoulders have been stressed.
I literally
Everybody's been
thought
giving me
years
anxiety.
doing this. Like I literally thought, like I'm gonna be like crying. Oh, Kyle! Oh, I have to watch him on the Clippers / Lakers / Heat, and I'm chilling.
That Clippers thing was always nonsense to me. If that ever happened, literally, I would have fought Adam Silver. I don't know how I would have found him, but it would have been a beef.
The Lakers was the one that stressed me out because I was like, Adam Silver is going to create a whole new exception because like LeBron's a little bit injured and so is AD, and then they're going to have Kyle for the rest of the season, and then they're going to be like, surprise, we're better now.
We're back.
And this rule is still in effect. You can't do shit about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been mad at that. I kind of like, it's always kind of been a dream of mine to see LeBron James and Kyle Lowry play together. So I wouldn't have minded that.
Dream?
A dream of mine. And like Kyle would have won another ring, and I think he would have been a really great contributor for the Lakers, and I think everybody knows that all I want in life is for everybody. Like, I might still fight Adam Silver, but that's separate. You know what?
I will support you.
You are
I'll be
right.
right behind
You know
you.
what? I'm gonna join you.
I'm always ready to fight him.
Get in,
But-
losers.
I want Kyle to win a ring. So like it wasn't so much that I was upset at the possibility of a trade. I think I talked myself into the fact that like Kyle more than likely, and I want to ask you guys how you guys feel about this, isn't going to be a Raptor next season. And that's how it felt at least 24 hours ago. I don't know if that's sort of changed for anybody here, and I'd love to ask. So to me, it was like, if he can win another ring this season, and I think the Lakers have the best shot, and I think the Lakers are clearly like far and away the best team if they add Kyle Lowry right now. So to me, it's just like, that's a clear one championship for Kyle. And two, like, I want everyone to see how good Kyle Lowry is. I want him on the biggest stage. I want everyone to like celebrate him and applaud him in the same way that I've been doing here, in the same way that Raptor fans have been doing here. So like, to me, I would not have minded him going to the Lakers. The Heat was always a little bit strange to me, just because I understand that he's really good friends with Jimmy, but they're not the best team in the East, even with Kyle. So why?
Right.
Well, we don't have to worry about it now.
Well, no, we do. Okay,
In the
In a
summer.
few months, can we fucking enjoy today?
okay, because I was gonna ask you guys. You guys don't want to do this. You guys don't want to do like, what do you think is? Do you think that this means he stays until next year?
Oh my god. Okay, so we just went through a month of everybody freaking out on the TL. We get 1 hour. No, we got what, 12 minutes of a break, and the amount's like, but what about the summer, guys? Let's stress about the summer.
Yeah. Well, do you want to live a stress-free life, or would you like to stress with me? You know, it was actually really, really cruel. So I was doing the live stream this like a couple of hours ago, and Alex goes, "The Raptors have made a trade," and I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Matt Thomas to Utah," and I'm like, "Don't start off with the Raptors have made a trade." Don't start off with those words.
Every lowest bomb gave me a heart attack.
Kelsey, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I said every Woj bomb. Like every time my phone was like, zzz, zzz.
I
I
know.
was like, oh no, it's happening.
Yeah, I did not pay attention in class at all.
No,
Hopefully my prof's not watching this.
Today was a wasted day. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I'm so sorry to anyone that I was supposed to help with something today.
Okay, but Norm's gone. That's pretty sad.
I mean, yeah, it is. No, I feel like
I gotta go, guys. It was nice talking to everybody.
I feel like I'm going through my moment of grief, and I'm just like, okay. Like,
Do you have a favorite Norm memory?
Yeah. You mean
any
besides him
memory
like
that,
throwing
honestly, anything that has to
champagne?
do with the Bucks is my favorite Norm memory.
Yeah.
Because I hope that transfers on to Portland, and he's able to just
Yeah.
make the Bucks fans really miserable, because that's, I don't know. It's
Yeah, I guess like Bucks Reddit after we played the Bucks was always fun. That's my favorite Norm memory.
Yeah.
Also him throwing champagne on that, like who did he throw champagne on like during the
Cabby.
championship?
Cabby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jerome mentioned Redacted is also gone.
Bam, bam. But wait, I want to hear Kelsey's favorite Norm memory before we move over to some of the other trades that the Raptors have done.
Game 5, Pacers dunk.
That's mine too.
Holding Fred's baby, having an Instagram for his dog.
I forgot about that.
He
Oh
has
my
an
God.
Instagram for his
Norm
dog.
loves the kids.
For both of his dogs, and he updates it like on the regular. Like he's
Wait,
very
can you tell
involved.
me what this is? I need to look this up right now.
It's Apollo and Odin.
Can you please share your screen as we're going through this? Because I had no idea that Norman Powell had an Instagram for both of his two separate Instagrams, or is
No,
it
it
for both?
used to be just Apollo, and then he got Odin. so he made
Stop.
it-
He has more the dogs have more followers than I do.
Oh, does he have like?
Oh, that's
Does he
so
write,
sweet.
does he write captions pretending to be them?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. What is the caption on that one?
So
Aw.
fresh and so clean.
There's like birthday pictures of them, like having little birthday parties.
When you don't want to take photos, but it's Thanksgiving. What a nerd.
I have to say, like, I know Norm is like was the longest tenured Raptor. He's been here for forever, but I feel like he's a personality that is harder to like pin down. Like, I would have never pegged him for the guy who wrote
No.
captions for his dogs on Instagram.
Yeah.
I feel like his personality is one of the hardest ones to actually fully understand. Besides, the
You
fact
know why? Because he's a Gemini and he has multiple personalities.
there we go. They're just like same birthday,
Same
actually.
birthday. Let me tell you all about me and Norm.
It's 2 months away. Wow, 2 months from today.
Yeah, it's also the day Zayn left One Direction. So
They're so cute. I can't.
Today's the day that Zayn left One Direction.
yeah, 6 years ago.
Why are you saying like that?
I'm still paying off my credit card for what I did as retail therapy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't tell my mom.
We're not kidding.
No, I bought ice cream. I went shopping. And then the next day, my sister walked in on me while I was like sitting on the toilet crying.
What would have been a bigger? Okay, what was the bigger heartbreak? DeMar DeRozan being traded or Zayn leaving One Direction?
Well, we got a ring out of DeMar leaving. But
Sure,
I also
we
got
Pillows.
solo
We
music.
got- Yeah, I
so-
was gonna say, was it Pillows? Is that the song?
Yeah, I had pillows.
Pillow talk.
Pillow talk.
Pillows. I was like, you want to see my One Direction pillows? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was like, it's Pillows or it's Pillows to Pillow Talk. I'm gonna go with one of them.
No, is Zayn Malik in this live?
Who?
Zayn Malik is commenting right now.
Man said, "Leave us Geminis alone."
Yeah, it's
That's
all fine.
hilarious.
Though. Hey Zayn.
What's
How's
up?
my
Why do you
grandkid?
One Direction? Is it because you know what? We're not getting into it. So, that's my
This is a
favorite.
long
Norm.
story.
That's my favorite Norm moment as well. It's the dunk. But Norm, it's gonna be sad to see Norm go because even though he hasn't always been like a fixture of the team. I mean, he has been because he's been here for forever. But when you think of the core, I think Norm has always been sort of the bench player. He's the one to me that doesn't quite fit in with the DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, older statesman of the team. But he also isn't, even though he's only a year younger than Siakam and Fred, he's not part of that sort of younger group because he's been here for longer than them. And when they won the G League championship, he was not with them. So it kind of feels like he's been in middleman, just sort of in between those two groups. So to see him go just kind of feels like it's been sad because I feel like the biggest Norm moments always come in the playoffs where we're just waiting for him to do something. And I feel like he's had a bunch of different series. Obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks ones and the Pacers ones stick out in all of our memories, but he's had just like moments in the playoffs. And it seems to be game 5. He even had it in game 6 last year against the Celtics where he just does something and it just reminds you how good he is.
Yeah.
And I really hope that Portland celebrates him and I hope his career year continues out for them.
Portland kind of reminds of us though, so I feel like he's gonna fit in pretty well.
Yeah, so Spencer literally asked me that because he was like, the Raptors play a more sort of, they play with more ball movement, they get the ball moving, and that allows more for Norm. Whereas Portland is very sort of ISO heavy, and it's just Dame and CJ being very ball dominant. And I was like, yeah, but Norm was on the Raptors, who had DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry and played a very similar style where the backcourt. And so I'm like, he'll fit. And I think that probably you're going to see Norm. And it'll be interesting to see, like, I think that they're probably going to get him to maybe run some of those bench lineups, see what he can do there. He'll get a lot of catch and shoot opportunities. So his 3-point shooting will continue. But I think Norm has shown too much in his offensive game right now to just be relegated to being some sort of catch and shoot guy when he can initiate so much of his own offense.
Right.
So what do you guys think about Gary Trent coming in and Terrence Ross? I'm joking. I mean Rodney Hood.
I was like, wait, that didn't happen.
It's
Rodney Hood is one of those that I always forget about. And I'm like, wow, Rodney Hood's so old. And then I'm like, he's practically an infant. Like, he's just one of those guys that feels like he's been in the league for 100 years.
Yeah, it's true. He does. And I feel like he's also been one of those guys that have killed the Raptors in years past. I feel like I just remember just so many Rodney Hood games. And I'm like, bro, no matter what team he's on, I feel like he just shoots lights out from deep against the Raptors. He is a career good 3-point shooter. He's shooting the worst mark of his career this year, only 29%, which is going to be nice. But he's obviously just in here for filler. I hope the Raptors kind of get a Jay Crowder-esque turn from him, where Jay Crowder was shooting abysmally for the Memphis Grizzlies last year, was traded to the Heat, and then got super hot. So, like, I hope we're getting the same thing from Rodney Hood, because you guys, I am so ready. I'm so ready for the Raptors to make the playoffs and destroy one of Miami Heat or Philadelphia 76ers. That's all I want.
Or both.
Both. Yes, let's go.
Knock him off.
Let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals, guys.
Raptors
That's
to
what
make
we
finals.
do.
You know what? The Raptors need to exact revenge on LeBron James and the Lakers too. You want THT over Kyle? We'll show you what that means, sir. I'm ready.
How disrespected, Iman, did you feel on a personal level with all those, like, we're not willing to offer Tyler Hero, Matisse Thybulle, Timbit, like,
I genuinely could not be on Twitter because the amount of fans, first of all, who were like, well, actually, there was, I forget who the gentleman is who writes for The Ringer, was talking about Danny Green being too much to give up for Kyle Lowry because the Sixers, I forgot what team he played for, need a catch and shoot guy who can just stand out on the wings more than a guy who can do it all, more than a guy who can create for himself, more than a guy who frees up Ben Simmons, more than it's not like Kyle can't stand in the corner if that's what you need. That's not what you need. You need someone who has Kyle's skill set, which is far more versatile than anything that Danny Green can give you. And so, like, to me, to even point to the offensive end, if it was like, oh, you know, kind of need a bigger wing to guard, I would be like, yeah, but you have Ben Simmons, so obviously that wasn't going to be a point. So he ran to the next thing, which is that you need a worse offensive player than Kyle Lowry because that somehow makes sense. Not to mention Danny Green's 3-point shooting in the playoffs for the last 2 years have been abysmal. So I don't know that that's what you need, but honestly, I don't know. That tweet just really irked my soul. All the tweets today have irked my soul, but it's fine because it just means Kyle Lowry gets to remain a Raptor for a lot longer. And I was genuinely ready to cry all day today, and I'm glad it hasn't come to that.
I could feel you going through it. Like, you were like, I've made my peace. He deserves the best. He deserves the best. And you're like, but I want him still. And then you're like, but he deserves it. This is what he deserves. We can rebuild. And then you're like, he's staying forever.
Yeah. It was all of the emotions on 2.5 hours of sleep. I've been going through it, you guys.
Now you don't have to.
Well, no, I do, because I'm thinking about the offseason. It's not over. But you know what? The Fade for Cade group, if you guys are still on that, let me tell you, it's never happening. It's not happening. You're not tanking. You're going to start winning. This team is not losing. First of all, Fred VanVleet wasn't going to sit back and lose games, but I thought you could convince the team that, like, hey, you're not playing Fred VanVleet 40 minutes a night. You're giving him a little bit more rest. He doesn't need to be overworked. And hey, let's try something different. Let's run some stuff through Pascal Siakam. Let's get him as your primary playmaker. Let's see how that works. Let's initiate more of the offense through OG Anunoby. Let's see what he has for us on the offensive end. Let's try different things and focus on the development of these guys, which was going to result in losses because they're not there yet. They're not ready. So I thought you can convince yourself to do that, and that would result in some losses, which would get you a nice lottery pick. But now that you're keeping Kyle, that doesn't make sense. It kind of was a stretch when I was saying it, and I was kind of just fingers crossed hoping that would happen. But right now, with where the team is at, keeping Kyle Lowry, that's out of the question. You're making the playoffs this year, and you're taking your best shot at those guys at the top.
I mean, honestly, I knew for sure that, like, the tanking was, like, donezo when the story about Nurse and Pascal getting in the fight because he was sat out in the fourth quarter came out, because I was like, if he's fighting over a fucking Cavs game, like, if you're fighting over a Cavs game,
Gorgeous.
you know, they're not tanking. Like, none of the players have that in their, like, that's not what they're made of. They're not going to sit back and lose intentionally. Even if I personally think it would be best for the team future moving forward to tank for a couple of games and get a good draft pick, I just don't think the team has it in them to sit back and
Star.
And it's never good for, like, it's always good for the team, but it's never good for the player. So, like, that's another thing where it's like, Fred VanVleet, there's no benefit to Pascal Siakam or Fred VanVleet tanking. Is it great for the team that you get a high pick, that you get Cade Cunningham? Of course it's great for the team. But, like, what does that mean when Pascal Siakam is your franchise player? Does that now mean that he's not your franchise player? Is that less money to him? Is that less endorsements? Is that less touches for him? And does that make him angry? Like you said, he got in a fight after a Rockets game. You know what I mean?
Was it the Rockets game?
It was the Rockets game. Which, I mean, you're breaking a 20-game losing streak. I would be upset as well. But so the players would never do it. It's less money for them. It's less touches. And then Cade Cunningham is 19 years old. In a couple of years, when he finally gets NBA ready and is able to lead a championship team, Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet are going to be 30 plus, and they're going to be the old guys that want out. And now you're shifting to young guys. So it just doesn't make sense for the players, but I would have loved it for the team. And I don't think that they would have gotten the number 1 overall pick just because, I mean, Detroit, Minnesota are just, they're so bad. So bad. Houston is so bad. But they would have gotten the high lottery pick or like a mid lottery pick, and for a team that hasn't had that would have been kind of nice to see what Nigeria could do with one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that dream's over. So.
Oh well.
What can we do?
What did you think about the package? So a lot of people wanted to get a pick back in return for Norm. That could have been, a lottery pick depending on where he went. What do you think about what the Raptors got, which was Rodney Hood, who's going to be expiring, so that's just salary filler, and Gary Trent Jr.? That's to both of you guys.
I mean, I guess they're saving money. We knew that they weren't going to pay Norm 20 plus, and I'm sure that's what Norm wanted. So I think it was just a matter of he's young, they could develop him in the system. I think he fits really well for the system, and he's cheaper than Norm. So in that sense, it wasn't a bad trade. I don't know if he's going to be able to give us what Norm gave us, specifically offensively, but I mean, he is a better defensive player. And again, he fits for the system. So I don't know. Like I feel like I have to see him and play more just to kind of see what that potential looks like on our team. But I'm not mad at it. I thought I got really excited when we heard about the Pacers saying that they were willing to overpay. Like I got really excited to see what we could get out of him. But I mean, Trent's not the worst possible trade. So I can live with it.
Kelsey, what about you?
I did want some picks though. I'm mad that we didn't get some picks. That I'm kind of upset about. But yeah.
Kelsey, what about yourself? How do you feel about getting Gary?
Surprised. I didn't think Portland were going to shop him, definitely. I didn't think Portland were even in the mix, considering Norman Powell, since they have such a strong backcourt already. Mm-hmm. I didn't, it's not one that I expected, but I like it. I think it works for both sides, especially like we're getting Gary Trent Jr. on a developing team in a developmental year with a player who has a very strong developmental upside. So I'm for it. I think Portland suits Norm perfectly, and I think Toronto suits Gary Trent Jr. perfectly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like it as well. I mean, obviously, I was just like, so that's what we're getting. Like, I was hoping to get a pick, and it's kind of like, okay, you're getting a guy who is the youngest Raptor. Let me just put it that way. Like, yeah. I was surprised to find out that he was the youngest Raptor. The Raptors have 2 rookies right now. Gary Trent Jr., who's been in the league for a couple of years now, is still already, like, that's something that's going to change eventually. Is still the youngest Toronto Raptor, which I thought was crazy. He's born in 99. Our rookies are born in 98. Which is insane, but that's where we're at right now. I'm old.
I know it's always
so So he's a young baby. We've seen what he can do defensively. He hasn't looked the same this year, but I think under the Raptors it'll be fine. I imagine that he's going to be a solid defender, and also he has size at the 2 guard spot. That's something that the Raptors are going to need, like especially if who knows what's going to happen with Kyle Lowry long term, but Kyle and Fred are both under 6 feet tall. I don't care what anybody tells me. They're under 6 feet tall. So to bring in a guy who's 6'5" to play the 2, play the 3 a little bit, but play the 2 for you, essentially moving forward, it's kind of nice to have that size there in the backcourt, because even Malachi Flynn is a smaller guy as well. So for the Raptors to have that size is nice. Like Sandy said, he's a good defender. Like Kelsey said, he fits into the Raptors system. He's also an elite 3-point shooter, and he's going to be cheaper than Norman Powell. I think my only thing with getting Gary that kind of surprised me was like, okay, he's a restricted free agent, so now we're going to be paying him $16.
Yeah.
So I was really interested in seeing like what is Norm going to get, and like how much is it going to be? Because like Kelsey said, it's also like, okay, I wasn't really sure that like I heard the rumors that Portland wanted him. I wasn't entirely sure how that was going to work, just like I wasn't entirely sure why Indiana Pacers wanted him because it seems like they have so many guys.
Right.
They've got so many wings. Like they've got what's homie with the braids, whose name I'm forgetting right now, who was insane in the bubble.
TJ Warren.
TJ Warren, yeah. It's like I know it's a TJ, it's just stuck in my head. They've got Malcolm Brogdon, they've got Karis LeVert, they've got Jeremy Lamb. They just have so many. So I'm like, oh, we're just gonna throw in Norm now as well, so that you guys can overpay for him in the offseason. Didn't quite understand it there, but I don't know. Kevin Pritchard's got something up his sleeve, I guess. So same thing with the Blazers, unless they really want Norm to maybe run some of those backup sort of lineups, which, as we've seen as Raptor fans, doesn't always work. So I'm kind of interested to see what they have going and how that's going to really fare. I hope it works out really well because Norm's been really good. And I think the Raptors got a really nice young piece to kind of grow with the team. He's really, really young. So when you're thinking about giving Malachi and Jalen Harris time to really grow, you have to give the same thing to Gary Trent Jr. He's not going to be as good for you as Norman Powell is right out the gate, but he's an elite three-point shooter already. And I think he's a better defender than Norm. He's got great size, and he's going to be here long term to grow alongside your Malachi Flynn's and your Jalen Harris's. So I think for Raptor fans, it was good. It's fine. And yeah.
He's going to fill that off-ball defense hole that Norm had in his game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Which it's gonna be. I like the idea of like a Malachi and Gary Trent kind of being that backcourt that you're moving forward with as well, because they're both known for the defense. Malachi's got his shot going. Gary's got his shot going. I think it's gonna be a fun team. I think the next iteration of the Raptors, and something that Masai Ujiri has done so well, is while competing at the highest level, the Raptors have also managed to develop the young guys to make sure that next core is ready to go. And this is the first time where we're kind of not seeing that, where we're like, where's the next guy? Like, where are these young guys coming out? And that's why the bench has been not as great as it normally is because your bench is now your starters. And so the Raptors bench doesn't exist in the same way that it did for the entirety of We the North. We the North era started with the Raptors trading Rudy Gay to get a bench. And ever since then, they've had solid bench contributors, whether it was Vasquez and Patrick Patterson, John Salmons, who came from that deal, to Lou Will, to Corey Joseph, to Bismack Biyombo, so on and so forth, to the point where we were staggering both Jonas Valanciunas and Serge Ibaka's minutes there, to the point where, bench mob was created with all of these guys that are now your stars. So this is the first time that the Raptors really don't have a bench, and it kind of feels like Masai Ujiri has gone in and rejuvenated that young group to now come in at 22, 23 years old. Same thing that he did with Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet back when they were 22, 23. So I'm really excited to see how Malachi, Jalen, and Gary all grow together. And it's really funny, you guys, because apparently we're like one of the rare fan bases that call guys by their first names. I know it's like not something that we're supposed to do, but like Kyle's the homie, and I've been calling Malachi, and now I've just called Gary, so he's officially a Toronto Raptor.
I didn't notice that we do that, but we do.
I was on a podcast and someone made a joke about it, being like, Raptor fans love, like, they call Kyle, and I'm like, yeah, because that's his name. And it's like, no, but like we say Tatum, we say Brown, and I'm like, we say Smart, and I'm like, yeah, it's weird. They're friends of mine, so I call them by their first name.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we're one of the rare fan bases that do that. And Norm, like, who do we call by their last name?
Baines.
Norm Baines. Oh, he's not.
We don't claim him.
We don't claim him. No.
That's exactly. You gotta earn the first name.
Or Paul, who you call his full name.
Yeah, that's true. Paul Watson Jr. is Paul Watson Jr. It's very much when like Facebook started. I don't know if you guys did this when Facebook started, like when I was in middle school or whatever. Everyone just became their full name because I saw it all the time. Yeah. Whereas before that, it would just be like, "Hey, Sandy," and then after that, it'd be like full name. And so that's we do that with Paul Watson Jr. Is it because there's a junior? Because I say Gary Trent Jr. sometimes. I think it's because there's.
I feel like it's disrespectful. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves when they are a junior and people don't call them the junior. Like that's part of their names.
Like Gary Trent. It's just it's incomplete. Yeah, it's not complete.
But I mean, I think you're right. Like this, what I got flamed for at the beginning of the season is saying like it's going to be so fun to watch these guys develop, and now we have this really fun, raw, talented bench that we can develop and watch while still competing. And it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, people on the Raptors are angry at every take you can possibly imagine. So, something we can say that'll make people happy. But hey, guys, if you guys are not on the win as many games as you possibly can to beat the bleep out of those teams that didn't want to trade Tyler Hero and Matisse Thybulle for Kyle Lowry, I'll personally come and fight y'all.
A white rapper and a child YouTuber.
We got TikTok and YouTube down. My gosh. What a crazy deadline. Okay, so let's talk about Matt Thomas. What did you guys think when that Matt Thomas deal came through?
Matt Thomas, I always forget he exists anyway. So I was like, oh yeah, he goes here.
I thought that's when I thought that the Kyle trade was happening. Once those two trades, when TD and Matt, were gone, I'm like, oh my God, they're clearing roster space. What the hell is happening? Like I literally I was just staring at my phone like shit, it's gonna come any minute now. So I didn't really have much of a thought about Matt Thomas. It was more so like, oh shit, Kyle's leaving us. Yeah, I hope he has an opportunity to develop there. I don't know if he's much of like an actual basketball player, but
you don't want to play him in horse, but I feel like you have a good chance against playing him like in the NBA.
Right. Like, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Utah's gonna love him.
Why?
That just means that the kind of player they prefer. Yeah, I don't really have much. Like honestly, like Kelsey said, I forgot about him. I didn't even really think it was an option to trade him. And then when it happened, I was like, oh shit, yeah, he's on the team.
I mean, Utah's already the best 3-point shooting team in the league. So,
right. So I mean,
they're there. I mean, you might as well add in Mr. 98%. Or is it 99%?
I'm going to be sad as hell when he hits like 10 threes in a game and we're just like, oh, damn.
He can do that. He's gonna. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if, like how much time. Like I'm gonna be interested to hear what Jazz fans think about. Like, is he going to get any time at all? Either way, they're the best 3-point shooting team in the league. They just added a Matt Thomas. I'm sure they're happy. What do you guys think about getting rid of Redacted at the deadline? And then there's some questions in here that I want to get to as well. Kendra, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. Saw your question there about OG Anunoby. But first, let's get into Mr. Redacted out of here. What do y'all think?
To the left.
I think that trade made me the happiest I've been in regards to being like a Raptors fan in like a year.
Yep.
Like that made me happy. Like I don't have to force myself to watch a bad basketball player be bad. I'm so happy. Thank you, Masai. Like it was my fandom that much easier. Like I don't know.
Also, like every person who has experienced some sort of abuse and has watched their abusers just kind of get off and just like not face any real consequences and have people cheering for them. I can't imagine how difficult a year like this for watching the Raptors has been. So for all my friends who are going through things silently or publicly, like I'm happy for you guys that you guys don't have to watch your fans of your team cheer him on.
Yeah, and you don't have to watch the broadcast talk about how, he's been through a lot when he's putting himself through a lot. He hasn't been through shit. So
speak on it.
It's just a very triggering situation that we are clear of now. Mm-hmm. No, they didn't handle it correctly the whole time that it was thrown in our faces, but it's not something we have to deal with now. And we don't have to deal with it on the court because he's shitty human, shitty basketball player.
Yeah.
We don't have to watch our offense stop, go, like fucking Power Wheels. Like it's
the
just
turnovers. Oh my God, he was dumb as hell on the
lapses on defense. I always it's just I'm glad. Hey, you know what? Peace out. Have fun in Sacramento.
Have fun.
And like to people who are probably going to get upset, should I even like address them? No, you know what? I'm sorry. If you don't get what we're saying and if you're upset by this, I shouldn't even waste my energy.
And
Like
keep
no
your
one
hands
is
off
saying,
people.
no one is
Keep your
saying
hands-
23-year-olds are above ever being redeemed, but there needs to be consequences for some sort of actions. I'm pro, like I'm not going to get into my stances on things, but like I believe in human redemption and like being a better person. I believe in abolition of prisons. Like I don't think that you throw away the key with anyone at 23, but I also do believe that there are consequences for actions, and when things like this just go unchecked, it only creates larger problems, and it's so unfair to victims, not just his alleged victim, but every other person who has experienced this and watched their abuser just get off scot-free.
Period.
That part.
Okay, so I've seen some comments here. Getting a second for Thomas is winning. I want to say that's yes. The fact that the Raptors, I didn't want to go without saying that. I saw that and I was like, yes. The fact that the Raptors got seconds for these guys is really, really dope. They got one, if I'm not mistaken, for Redacted, and they got one for Matt Thomas. That's I mean, good job, Masai Ujiri. And we've seen some of the steals that Masai Ujiri is able to get in the draft. The Raptors have not drafted with high picks. They've been getting the 29th, the 30th, 27th, and lots of second rounders. And we've just built a really strong team of that. Masai Ujiri continuing to get picks. No, you couldn't get a first rounder for Norm, but honestly, getting a first rounder for Norm kind of seems incredibly steep. Whichever team did that, I would have graded that team having a free deadline. Like, to me, that's just way too much that when you would give for Norman Powell, so for the Raptors to get what they did, which is a young piece. Like I said, he's the youngest player on the Raptors, so it's not like they got somebody old. You can essentially chalk it up to him. This is like, he's basically a rookie if he's the same age as your rookies, except he's had 3 years of NBA experience, right? So a little bit different. The difference is you're going to have to pay him and you don't have to pay a rookie. I guess that would be the difference there. But 3 years of rookie of NBA experience, you know, we saw what he was able to do in the bubble there. So we know that he could be really good. But Masai Ujiri being able to get a second rounder for a guy who didn't get any minutes on the Raptors, he was just wasting away on the bench, and being able to turn that to a second rounder is phenomenal. I mean, Masai Ujiri does it again. This was a great trade deadline for him. I thought the Raptors did a phenomenal job. I'm so glad and so grateful that they didn't give in to what Miami or the Lakers or the Sixers were offering them for Kyle Lowry. To me, I was just worried about Masai Ujiri giving in. I don't know why I doubt the man. I was like, I don't know. Like, I would have just thought it was a terrible trade if they had done it for Duncan Robinson, who I don't want the Raptors to keep. Precious Achiuwa, who I'm going to be honest, I don't really have any sort of feelings on him. I haven't watched enough of his game, but based off of everything,
I would die for him. So
okay. There we go. But would you trade Kyle Lowry for him?
no,
Okay.
there's a line. Okay, I will die, but I will not. I will not trade Kyle Lowry.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so that I didn't want to get anything like that back. So I thought Masai Ujiri did a phenomenal job at the deadline. Thank you. We love comments like this. I love it when we're all in agreement that we need to have these conversations. We're women who created this platform for ourselves. It's not to just shut up and talk about things that the mainstream media is talking about. It so that we can get into the uncomfortable conversations and talk about Redacted and talk about what that means to women like us, but not just women out there who are suffering abuse, whether it be silently or publicly. What are some other things you have here? I would forfeit all of our draft picks this year to beat the Sixers in the first round. I love this. How do you guys feel about this? Would you forfeit all of your draft picks this year, which would be a couple of seconds and your first, to beat the Sixers this year?
Mood.
Yeah.
And
then we go find more undrafted steals.
I might, because like the disrespect that Kyle's just taken. If we can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and beat like Philly and Miami on the way there, I'm Gucci, bro. This is a long season. Like, that's gonna feel like a ring, in my opinion.
You know that Robel's definitely listening to us and being like, "No, you're not giving up your first round picks. You're not."
You guys
doing
feel
that."
almost like rejuvenated after last game plus this trade deadline, everything that's happened? Do you kind of feel like you're kind of like peeking out of a hole that's been getting bigger and bigger all season?
A little bit. I'm waiting to see what they look like next. Because again, like I feel like the last game was like a Pascal revenge game, and hopefully he's able to keep that same energy throughout the next couple of games. But yeah, it does feel like I could take like a deep breath after like holding my breath for like extended period of time. It's a little bit of a relief. We know what's happened. We know like who's coming, who's going. So we can just kind of focus on the rest of the season. And
well, that's a good question because we maybe don't know entirely who's coming, just because the Raptors do have a couple of open roster spots. Really interesting. We know that we have a need at the center position. Is there someone? Do you think the Raptors are going to be really active on the buyout market? I'm sure a lot of these other teams will as well. But do you think that there's someone that the Raptors are targeting as of right now to fill up those 2 roster spots if it wasn't going to be Kyle? Because I was with Sandy. As soon as I saw roster spots being open, I was like, hello, Miami. We're clearly taking whatever poo-poo platter you're giving us. That wasn't the case. So what do you guys think the Raptors do with these open roster spots?
Alize Johnson.
Sandy was singing his praises last night in Clubhouse.
Yeah, I mean, we need rebounding, and he rebounds spectacularly well. So, I mean, why not?
And he knows the system.
Right. He's not that great of a player. He's all right. He's not a bad player, but I mean,
you're filling up basically your 14th and 15th.
Right.
Spot.
Like
you're gonna take him. Yeah.
Right.
I agree with Sandy.
We need a center. So I think Aldridge is going to Miami, I believe. So I think that's pretty much a done deal.
I know the Raptors get him.
I don't know that I want him.
No.
I don't know that I want him. I guess Drummond would also be an option. I'm not quite sure I want him either. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of an upgrade from Baines, but
What do you think about the fact that Drummond didn't get traded at the deadline?
Or Lonzo.
I think
Drummond a little bit different because he's probably going to be bought out right now. We'll get into Lonzo and some of the other. I want to talk about Lonzo and Victor Oladipo with you guys in a bit.
Yeah, because Houston, I was just saying, like, that front office needs to be fired. Like, all of them need to be looking for new jobs.
Why?
So what did they give up? They gave up Harden for, like, picks, essentially?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
So you gave up Depot for Olynyk and...
Depot's not good.
But maybe he's just bad because he's on the Rockets. He's on the worst team.
Here's the thing about Oladipo. Maybe I'm wrong about him, but Oladipo has had one good year, and somehow we're all holding on to that forever.
Yeah, even
I've
before
watched
the
him be
injury.
bad longer than I've watched him be good since he's come back from his injury. And he's
Even before the injury.
Right, but he wasn't like we talk about him as if he's some sort of like he's obviously like an elite defender, but we talk about him like he has this elite 3-point shooting to go with it. He's literally shot above average once in his entire career. It's not like I think Oladipo's name is bigger than Oladipo's game, not to rhyme, but kind of to rhyme because I'm a poet. But no, I definitely think that like. To me, I don't mind the deal that the Houston Rockets made. Like, I kind of like I knew, like, I don't think the Oladipo trade changes that. Like, even if they let him walk in the offseason, the deal that you made and the reason why you took Oladipo as opposed to taking Karis LeVert is because you wanted maximum cap flexibility moving forward. You knew that you weren't going to keep Oladipo. You knew that either he was walking or you were going to trade him, and you wanted as many picks as you possibly can. They have 4 of the Nets' first-round picks, which is the most they can get, and then they have 4 pick swaps with them as well, which means I guess they traded away one of those picks as well because one of those was Milwaukee's, and I think it's back in Milwaukee right now. But let's just say what they traded for Harden at the time. Yeah. So that's the most amount of picks that you can legally get and have control over. And if you kind of believe that this net situation with Kyrie, who doesn't want to work 50% of, I don't know. Kyrie's Kyrie, and I love Kyrie, but like, I understand a GM being like, hey, I'm not banking on Kyrie being an NBA player in a couple of years if he doesn't want to do this full time, because Kyrie treats his NBA job like any of us kind of treat our regular jobs, and people
Right.
job switch quite frequently. So,
Right.
and then you have KD, who suffered these major injuries, has not been fully healthy since he's come back, although he looked like a star. But, you know, we've seen him have sort of lingering injuries throughout the year, and you know that he's over the age of 30. And then you have Harden. So if you fully believe that this team in a couple of years isn't going to be that good, then those pick swaps that you have in a couple of years are going to be phenomenal for you. It's going to be very similar to what the Nets did with the Celtics. And I think the Nets are comfortable with that. But I also think that, like, the Rockets are setting themselves up for just, like, 8 years of just full growth and a rebuild that's an actual true rebuild, and not stuck around Oladipo, who,
That's
even
fair.
when I gave him the extension, didn't make sense to me. I never understood why they wanted to give him that.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought that he was probably, like, they're obviously going to try to trade him, but I also thought, like, even if he walks, it's not the end of the world. You gave up Karis LeVert to get Oladipo because you want cap flexibility moving forward, at
Right.
least in my eyes. So they're in a full rebuild. That's fine and dandy.
So you don't think that they could have gotten more for?
What could you possibly get more than 8 years of draft capital from a team? Like, what? What else is there to get? You can't get Ben Simmons. They weren't going to do that. I like 8 years of draft capital more than I like Tyler Hero. So what could they have possibly gotten?
I mean, I guess that's fair. That's fair when you put it that way.
I don't know. Like, I don't know that there's another asset that I would prefer than 8 years of just, like, draft control for a team. Give me that always, especially if I think the Nets, because all of their guys are, you know, what is Kyrie? Kyrie is 29 as of yesterday or the day before yesterday. And then KD and Harden are both over the age of 30. If you don't think that this team is still going to be the same team in a couple of years, whew, that's money. You're cashing in until 2028, bro.
Good point.
I'm glad I can convince you.
I'm not gonna argue. No. Good point. Good point. I guess it was just like when I initially saw the trade, I'm just like, well, like it just feels like you don't. In my mind, it's like you don't trade Harden. Like, I know he's disgruntled, he doesn't want to be here, but top 5 player in the league, you don't trade him away. And I guess the only things you
What would you, can I ask though, what would you have preferred they get as opposed to what they got? Who?
Sorry?
What would you have preferred that they got if it wasn't going to be picks? Because, you know, we said we wanted a pick over getting Gary Trent Jr., but Gary Trent Jr. is kind of a young piece. He's nice. The Raptors get to develop him as if they had drafted him, right? Although he's been in the league for some years, they have to pay him more money than they would a pick. But what would you have preferred? So now you're saying you would prefer a player to a pick for Houston?
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess maybe they're tanking, so maybe they don't need, when you put it that way, because in my mind it was like, okay, at least get some players. I don't know, like, just
Get Cade, bro. Start from scratch. Get Cade. Build your team there.
yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. You get Cade, you're well on your way. So, that's a good point.
And hey, if this Nets situation blows up, even if the Nets win a championship in the next couple of years, and then if everything falls to shit because Kevin Durant's going to be, 36, 37, James Harden's going to be the same age, Kyrie's going to be off in Burning Man, you kind of have, like, hey, those Nets picks could be really, really good.
Yeah.
So you could have some really, really high draft picks coming in as well. So I think it's setting themselves up long term for something quite nice. I'm not mad at it at all for the Houston Rockets.
Good point.
All right, so let's go through some other things. There's only 2 left. We're the 2 last men standing. What do we have here? So Kendra says, what I'm hearing is I'm not getting OG live game development. Can you tell that both me and Sandy wear glasses with how close we're looking at this? Sandy, do you wear glasses? You do.
I'm like, what the hell?
Because we're both like, can you? So here's the thing. I was kind of talking as if that were going to be the case. I still don't think that's the case just because the Raptors are going to be in win now mode. I think you're still developing OG Anunoby. It also helps that Norman Powell, who's eaten up so much of the Raptors' possessions, is going to be gone. It also helps that you're not playing Terrence Davis however many minutes a night. So I think OG Anunoby is still going to get his touches. He's still going to be developed. We're just not going to see like a full kind of all-out OG show us what you can do because you're going to have Kyle Lowry, who, like I said, as long as Kyle's on this team, it's Kyle Lowry's team. It's not these young guys' team. I'm so sorry. They gotta wait. They gotta wait a little bit longer.
We gotta wait a couple more years, hopefully. Yeah, good point.
I love it. Kyle Lowry will single-handedly bring us to the finals just out of spite. And that's all I want to see, honestly. If I see anything less than that, I will be upset. This will be a bad season. If they make the finals, season salvaged.
I will say, if pettiness can get us to the Eastern Conference Finals, I can live with this season, this shitty ass season. Like, I can live with it. But yeah, no, I think the team is gonna take all of this as disrespect. Kyle's definitely gonna take it as disrespect. And we're gonna start seeing the team that we know that they can be. And I'm excited for that.
I'm so excited. If you guys have any other questions, please put them in the chat. Kyrie at Burning Man. I mean, where else is he going to go? I think the injury really messed Oladipo up. Yeah, I mean, it did, and it's unfortunate. It sucks when an injury really messes a player's value up like that. But that's kind of the case with Oladipo. He was on a really high and a real upwards trajectory before he got injured, and it's unfortunate that this is where his career is gone, but his value right now in the league is just not very high. So I'm not surprised that he was that the Miami Heat were able to get him for as little as they were. What was your favorite deal of the day, Sandy?
Besides Terrence Davis?
Yes. From any team, it doesn't necessarily need to be the Raptors.
Think of all the trades that happened, because I honestly feel like it didn't, like, everything went over my head.
Yeah, I was on earlier, and Spencer broke the Vooch trade to me because I had no idea. Because like, it's also like it's a Thursday in the middle of the day. I'm at work, so like, as much as I'm doing a stream and checking my phone, it's not supposed to be. So like, there are going to be some things that I miss and some things that slip. And I like, there was a comment being like, "How did she miss this?" And I'm like, first of all, the fact that I know that Evan Fournier was Fournier, we're just gonna call him Fournier. The fact that I know that Evan Fournier was traded, is a surprise and probably shouldn't have been. I was watching for one thing and one thing only, and that was Kyle Lowry. I had tweet notifications on, which are hell. I don't know how people do it. And I turned it on for Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania, and literally every single time my phone buzzed, I was so scared. Like, I had a mini heart attack. I tweeted out that this today is why universal healthcare in Canada exists. And it's true. Like, I'm going to be visiting I'm so glad that I can visit my doctor for free tomorrow because I don't feel right. Okay.
Right. Like, mentally.
Way too much stress. But it's also kind of fun. Okay. Am I crazy, Sandy? Or was today, like, now that all of it is over, was this not a little bit fun for just a March day? Because we never get this, especially this time of the season. It's always so boring and everyone's just looking to the playoffs. Was this not fun? Was this not fun?
It was a lot of fun. And I think what made it even more fun is that everybody was stressing over Kyle Lowry. So a part of me was like, please don't go. But then another part of me was like, how much, like, what are you guys willing to give us? Like, it was amazing. I'm mad that these teams weren't willing to take the offer, trade.
You're right there with me. Like, and it's so stupid because both of us are happy that he's staying. That the other teams want him. It's like, you're supposed to want him. We're supposed to not want you. It's not supposed to be the other way around. Okay.
Exactly it. Like, I wanted to keep him, but I want to keep him because Kyle said he wanted to stay, not because you guys didn't want to make the right trade to get him. Like,
What do you think? I know Sidra didn't want me to talk about this, but I think would be remiss if we didn't get into it. What do you think about all the reports about like Miami being his preferred destination and all that other stuff? What do you think that means for the Raptors come off-season time?
I mean, for me, I think the fact that they weren't willing to trade like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson is going to hurt them in the summer, because they're going to be like, well, he's going to be like, well, you know, you had a chance to get me. You didn't think I was worth this, this, and this. So what makes you think that I should come to you for free in the offseason? It could mean absolutely nothing, and he could just be like, I want to be in South Beach, and I would fill him on that 100%. But if he decides that being slighted in this way does matter, it might affect them in the summer. For sure.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it. Here, Kyle, if it's not going to truly affect you, here's what I need you to do. Ask for $5 million more a season. Let's like completely cripple them so that they cannot add anybody else. That's what I'm going to need you to do just to make this work in my brain. Just pay back, you know, because we're a little upset. Make them pay you $5 million more a season. Let's get 30 mil. Let's go for 30 mil a year for 2 years. Let's go crazy.
Yeah, man.
What do you think about the fact that they're actually willing to give him $25 million a year? Because I was honestly genuinely surprised by that. I didn't think that he would come up with multiple teams being willing to do that. Obviously, the Raptors would be willing to do that. And I mean, Kyle Lowry deserves so much more from the Raptors than $25 million a season. But for a team like Miami, the fact that they were willing to do that, I just thought, okay, well, if you're willing to give him that much, you're surely willing to give up Tyler, but that didn't come.
Yeah, like I'm surprised. I get that people see like an upside, and he does. He has an upside. He's young. He could shoot the ball. Defensively, not that great, but I mean, he could put in the work. And in the system, they would force him to play defense. So, I mean, I do see why Miami fans were hesitant to trade, especially because of what he did in the bubble, right? Like you don't completely ignore the impact that he had in the bubble, right?
He's cheap, you know.
And you're exactly. So I get it. I'm just surprised that if you have someone who moves not that I necessarily think that Kyle on Miami would automatically make them contenders. I don't think the team is good enough for that necessarily. They're not like one piece away, but I do think that it would move the needle a little. I'm surprised that they didn't think it was worth the risk, and keeping Tyler Hero was like ultimately what you should be aiming for is a chip. And if you can get a player that's going to do everything in his power to push you in that direction, you make the right move, in my opinion.
Right. So here we've got, I'm unaware of what usable cap space the Raptors currently have. How much do they have? So just looking at the Raptors cap spreadsheet right now. So initially for next season, what they had was $100 million sort of eaten up already, but you're taking away Norm's 11 mil, you're taking away Aaron Baines 7 mil because the Raptors are not going to exercise that team option on him, and you're left with about $81 million of used up cap space. And you have to think the Raptors are obviously going to sign Gary Trent Jr. He's a restricted free agent. The thing about restricted free agents that are kind of nice for team purposes is that there aren't very often. I mean, it's a little bit different when you're traded at the deadline and you're on a new team. I don't know how other GMs would really feel about how gettable. Probably not, actually. So here's the thing. The thing about restricted free agents that differs from unrestricted free agents is our teams are more reluctant to give them a giant offer because the Raptors have the ability to match. So any offer that a future team that maybe wants Gary Trent Jr. Would be willing to give him. So any offer they'd be willing to give him, the Raptors have the ability to match. And why teams would be unwilling so much to give out those offers is because their money is kind of tied into Gary Trent Jr. until the Raptors decide to match. And the Raptors have some time to decide that, which basically means any other player in the offseason that's gettable you might miss out on because your money is tied up on a player that you probably aren't going to get because the team is probably going to match. Especially the Raptors just traded for Gary Trent Jr. They're probably not going to let him go. So I have a hard time believing that other teams are going to be gonna have to go in just a second here, you guys. Apologize. I have a hard time believing that other teams are going to be trying to outbid the Raptors here because it just really ties their hands in the offseason. So I think the Raptors are probably, what do you think they're going to get him for? I'm really interested in what this number is. Do you think it's going to be 15 mil? Like, I have to imagine it's going to be a significant enough difference from what they give Norman Powell just to see what the Raptors have left to work with this offseason to see what kind of upgrades they're going to get.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, I don't see it getting close to what Norm would have got, or they would have kept Norm. Like, if they could keep Norm at 15, 16 million,
yeah,
he would be here, right? So hopefully that's what they're hoping for, and that's what they end up signing him for. And that gives them a little bit more wiggle room in terms of any free agents that pop up. Not that there are many, but any free agents they're looking to sign in the offseason.
All right, you guys. We'll talk a little bit more about the cap situation, what the Raptors have, probably on a longer podcast, probably even closer to we'll probably do a full podcast kind of going over the trade deadline. We just wanted to give you guys quick reactions to everything. Some great trades in case anyone, like, one trade that I really like is Aaron Gordon going to Denver. Trade that I'm a fan of.
Really
even though I had a tweet about Denver just getting another light-skinned tweener, I'm actually excited about that because he is a good defender. You're pairing him alongside Michael Porter Jr., who's not a good defender. And I also, I think Aaron Gordon is much better than the player that we've seen in Orlando. I just think he wanted out of Orlando. Yeah. So I'm interested to see him in Denver. And also with Denver, he's not going to be the primary guy. He doesn't have to be the number one. He can be the number 4 on offense, and number 5, and kind of be the afterthought, which I think will allow a lot more for him. It will unleash his game in a way that he hasn't been able to do. I know Raptor fans are going to be really upset about this because I heard so many people who wanted Vooch. I'm a fan of the Bulls getting Vooch. That was broken to me on the thing, and I was like, wow, I like that for the Bulls. And as I was hearing the what they got back for him, Orlando, I was like, that was it. Like, in my mind, I was just thinking, what? Okay. And I don't know, maybe I need to go back and look at those trade details to completely look at it. I've got to run, you guys, which is why I'm talking a mile a minute. But this was a lot of fun. Peace out and check us out on
Raptor. Bye.
We ever gonna find out whether the TD? Yeah. So I mean, we talked about that a little bit early on. We'll get into that longer term. We think that there may be some buyout options. It did kind of look like they were trying to clear up some roster spots. Still remains to be seen, but I'd be interested to see what the Raptors can do in the buyout market. Peace, guys.
Peace.